Today's video is going to be about some of the parts that I bought. So what we have here is 6-1 pistons. So that means old pistons got to come out. I got to bore the block. I got all new bearings underneath. Yeah. So I'm gonna start looking around for prices on a bore job and start trying to figure out where I could get it done, how much it's gonna cost, all that fun mumbo jumbo. And then while it's in the shop, I'm gonna get the cam bearings installed as well. A little more about the pistons. I got them for 150 bucks. Should clean up pretty nicely. The only problem is one piston will have to be replaced. Obviously, whoever broke that piston drove it for a while and it bounced around inside the cylinder. So, yep. Alright. Old busted piston goes into the scrap pile, while the rest of these will get a nice little chemical bath. So time to scrub. As far as the piston, I found a used one. Obviously no big deal, these are all used, for 50 bucks. So I paid 150 for all 8 rods. So originally I bought it just for the rods, thinking that the 6-1 had forged rods. I found out that they are in fact identical to the 5.7 rods. So I made the consecutive decision that I'm just gonna bore the motor. Yep, so let's go ahead and get these cleaned up. Alright, all the rings are out, all the grime is off. These things cleaned up pretty damn nice. Obviously I can go through and fine tune a little more, but for the most part they're pretty damn good, pretty clean. Even the bearings are pretty good. Now obviously I'm going to go through the trouble of rebuilding this, so I'm going to put all new bearings. But yep, there we go. Now I'm going to pull the pistons out of that. Alright, now I have the 6-1 pistons cleaned up, put away. Obviously those won't go in until after the block spin machine, but for now old pistons gotta go. So yeah, let's do that. Pistons are out. I'm glad I decided to do so because he spun bearings. That's all bad. Every single rod bearing is like that. Copper, copper. So now, because those spun, these now have grooves you could literally see the line where the two sat next to each other, just spinning on here. So now comes the fun part of having to sand these down. But I'll show you a trick on how to sand these using some shoestring. But as far as that, I got ARP main stud kit, and I'm not gonna take the crankshaft out yet. I'll leave it in here. But yeah, I'm kind of glad I bought those pistons and rods. So, yep. And again, I bought new rod bearings. I got brand new main bearings, along with studs. I mean, it spins pretty good, but who knows? Main bearings are probably spun as well. I got the thrust bearings, thrust washers, whatever you want to call them. Like I was saying, there's nothing I can do until I get the block machined. So I might just say fuck it and have them bore it and rebuild the bottom end. Just so if anything happens, it's on them, not me. That's why you're paying money, right? But as you can tell, all but it looks about one rod spun. Alright, so you guys have seen the pistons. Just gonna go over some of the parts that I have. I'm still waiting on a couple more parts to come. First things first, complete timing chain, tensioner, gear, chain, all that. These are the lifters. I think I've already showed those. I have the cam, main studs. Those are main bearings, rod bearings, thrust washers, gaskets, and oil pump. So what I'm waiting on right now is cam bearings, and for the most part that'll be everything I need to put it all back together after I get the block. So yeah, but just a quick update on parts, what I have, what I still need, which at this point is just to get the engine board and possibly have them do crankshaft. But I think that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, all that good shit. If not, nobody ever does. Who gives a shit? But yeah, that's it. Peace.